Hello everyone, this is Jack Frost with your weekly update for Nasdaq. Overall, the Nasdaq has continued to move lower, a new Elliott Wave count is considered, and downwards movement is expected to continue towards 11756. On the bullish weekly chart, cycle wave 5 is seen as an incomplete impulse, currently within primary wave 2. The previous wave count saw this corrective movement as an intermediate degree corrective movement, though it is a little bit too long and deep to be considered an intermediate correction. So this wave count has been relabeled, seeing this as an incomplete primary wave 2. Primary wave 1 is labeled complete at this high here. Primary wave 2 expected to be within intermediate wave C, and within that, minor wave 3. Primary wave 2 has a target calculated at 11756.02, the 0.618 Fibonacci ratio of primary wave 1. And if primary wave 2 reaches this target and continues, it cannot move below the start of primary wave 1 at 10092.94. Overall, cycle wave 5 within supercycle wave 1 is expected to pull price higher. And on the bullish daily chart with the end of primary wave 1 over here, we can see more detail for intermediate waves A and B within primary wave 2, pulling price lower with minor waves 1 and 2 and minute waves 1 and an incomplete minute 2 within minor wave 3. Minute wave 2 is expected to pull price higher for a small bounce with a target calculated at 13267.09, the 0.618 Fibonacci ratio of minute wave 1. Minute wave 2 cannot move above the start of minute wave 1 at 13714.14. Once minute wave 2 is labeled complete, overlapping third waves at minute and minor degrees are expected to pull price lower with increasing momentum. On the bearish weekly chart, cycle wave 4 is seen as an incomplete double zigzag or double combination, currently within primary wave Y, pulling price lower. Primary wave Y is expected to be within intermediate wave A, and within that, minute wave 3 of minor wave 1. If minute wave 2 does continue any higher, it cannot move above the start of minute wave 1 at 14446.55. And on the bearish daily chart with the end of primary wave X at this high here, we can see more detail for minute waves 1 and 2, with minute wave 3 now moving lower, currently within minuet wave 3 and within that subminuet wave 2. Subminuet wave 2 is expected to pull price slightly higher for a bounce with a target calculated at 13267.09. Once subminuet wave 2 is labeled complete, overlapping third waves at subminuet, minuet, and minute degrees are expected to pull price lower with increasing momentum. If this target is reached and price continues to increase, then subminuet wave 2 cannot move above the start of subminuet wave 1 at 13714.14. On the technical weekly chart, price has continued to decline from this last high, finding support at 12500. Volume is overall pushing price lower, though this current week is incomplete, so we cannot draw any conclusions. On balance, volume continues in a range with no signal. ADX is now increasing with a bearish trend. RSI and money flow both neutral and stochastics oversold. As ADX now increases with a bearish trend, though RSI and money flow are both neutral and exhibit no divergence, this trend has a ways to go before it may be in danger of ending. And on the technical daily chart, price has declined towards support at 12500, now beginning to move slightly up with overall declining volume. On balance, volume has broken out of resistance, giving a bullish signal. ADX is increasing with a bearish trend that is not yet extreme, though it is close. As ADX continues to increase, RSI, money flow, both neutral, though RSI, money flow, and stochastics all exhibit bullish divergence, where these indicators make higher lows where price makes lower lows. This trend may find a corrective movement soon to relieve these conditions. And on the Nasdaq AD chart, the AD line continues to make lower lows while price continues to make higher lows. This continues the long-term bearish divergence dating back to February 2023 and all the way back to 2009. That's all for me with your weekly update for Nasdaq. I hope everyone has a good week.